Hello and good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, and yes, it is that time. Welcome to the one and only political racing simulator. This is the race to the presidency. And we've got a big election this year. This is going to be probably the most important election of this, I'd say, last century. Not gonna lie. But it's alright, everyone is here and ready to go and they're representing their teams and all that good shit. But before we can get to the actual race, we have to get through the starting lineup of the race to the presidency 2020. On the front row, you all know him as Sleepy Joe Biden, but he is not tired today. He is pumped and ready to go, driving the number 47. He is trying to become number 46. We'll see if he can do it today, but alongside him on the front row is a staunch challenger. He is the current president of the United States of America, and he is coming back on him. This election is going to be a close one. Trump's not giving up. He's going to be starting on the pole. But in Trump's corner, he has a very good associate, and his name is Mike Pence, the vice president, the 48th vice president of the United States. Will start alongside the challenging vice president. You know her as Kamala herself. It's Kamala Harris, starting from fourth. But Kamala Harris has an ace up her sleeve as well. Not just unjust judiciary decisions. She also has the House Majority Leader, known only as Nancy Pelosi. She delivered. She hand-delivered the articles of impeachment herself. She's looking to hand-deliver a victory for the left today. But she's got a staunch competitor to her left. He is known as a man with a harder shell to crack than any in the House. He is the House Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell. Also representing the Democrats is our a challenger for the United States presidency, who was unable to overcome the challenges of being incredibly boring. It is Amy Klobuchar from Minnesota. But Klobuchar will start alongside Ted Cruz, the Zodiac Killer himself, representing the right. Another representative from the House. You know him only by not only his love of this country, but his love of gas masks. He is Representative Matt Gaetz. But alongside of him is another staunch lover of gas. It is Eric Swalwell, and he will start alongside Matt Gaetz. In the next row sees a senator who has seen his fair share of action recently. It is the one, the only Rand Paul. But another staunch competitor in the field today, the craziest woman in Washington, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, will start alongside Paul. Then, a man who is hoping to have a cow with the field, it is Representative Devin Nunes. But another member of the squad, she is ready to kick some ass straight out of Minnesota. It is Ilhan Omar. In the next row, we have a man who's responsible for the death of several people in the elderly department. I've been trying to keep my bias against me out of this video as long as I can, but I can't anymore. Fuck Andrew Cuomo. He is going to start alongside a potential future Supreme Court justice. It is Tom Cotton. In the next row sees a strange member of the Republican Party. It is Susan Collins, going to be joined alongside the man who has proven that you can make mediocrity hot. It is Cory Booker. But another Trump ally is going to start deep in the field. You know him as the man with a woman's name. It's Lindsey Graham, who's going to start alongside probably the only reason that Biden is the nominee.
Drivers, start your engines.
It is Elizabeth Warren. Now we've gotten through all of the actual representatives, it is time for some new faces. How about some influencers for this race? it is America First leader Charlie Kirk. But representing the left, even though he probably doesn't want to anymore, it is Jimmy Dore. Also in the field, we have the Buffalo Man himself, Cenk Uygur, going to start alongside one of the fieriest women on the internet. It is Cassandra Fairbanks. But Kyle Kalinske is going to start from the next row behind him. He's going to start alongside one of his favorite grifters, Dave Rubin. Also in the field is the Hills Crystal Ball, going to start alongside Jack Posobiec. In the field as well as David Pacman, going to start alongside Michael Cernovich. In for the Chaos Vote. You know him as the only legitimate journalist on the internet. It is Alex Jones, and he's going to start alongside the man that everyone has to talk about for some reason when it comes to American politics. It is Vladimir Putin. In the next row, we have the Tucker face himself, Tucker Carlson, going to start alongside Senator, I believe, Thomas Massie. He has united both the Democrats and the Republicans against him, so he must be doing something right. In the next row, standing in for Gary Johnson, who's still trying to figure out what Aleppo is, it is the Libertarians' Joe Jorgensen, who's going to start alongside a journalist? In the form of Jimmy Kimmel. Also in the field is Tulsi Gabbard. Is she representing the left, or is she just here to punch Kamal in the face again? Either way, I'm glad to see her. She's going to start alongside the Greens candidate, Jill Stein. But not only that, we also have birthday party member himself, Kanye West. And you know it only by the plague that it's caused and the terror that it's caused in everyone's lives. Ladies and gentlemen, the final entry in the field is COVID-19. But the race is underway. We have 40 laps to determine who is going to be the President of the United States. Taking the lead early was the current President, Donald Trump, but he has lost the top spot already. But it's a good thing that the person he's lost it to is his right-hand man in the form of Mike Pence. Oh, the Republicans are using that inside lane to their advantage. It is a red wave on the inside line making moves. The entire top 6, top 7 are Republicans. Your new leader right now is Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell with a push from the Zodiac Killer Ted Cruz. Already 3 wide and about the midfield as the Democrats try desperately to make anything happen here. Mitch McConnell leads lap number 1. A great effort out of the Senate Majority Leader so far. Coming up on the inside lane now with a push to the Majority Leader is Rand Paul. Oh, Rand Paul is going to make a move for the lead himself now. A big move to the inside lane for Rand Paul. He's trying to take the lead away from Mitch McConnell. There are 2 times pit frequency in this race, so we should see at least 1 pit stop, and cautions are on. So if there's a big wreck in the field, we will be able to line them up and send them off one more time. Rand Paul to the lead, but is he going to lead this lap? Lindsey Graham is coming with a full head of steam, and it's going to be Rand Paul the leads lap number 2. Beginning lap number 3, here comes America First. Charlie Kirk is trying to take the lead away from both Lindsey Graham and Rand Paul. Oh, the influencers are lined up on the inside. The right is united. Cassandra Fairbanks pushes Charlie Kirk to the lead at lap number 3 in the race to the presidency 2020. But the influencers have betrayed each other now. It's Jack Posobiec making it 3 wide, trying to grab second place with a push from Michael Cernovich. Oh, and here he comes, the mad lad himself. Vladimir Putin is trying to get in on the action. Charlie Kirk is going to lead lap number 3, but will he be out front for much longer? As here comes the Russian president. He's trying to become another president. I'll be honest, I didn't know what I was going to do if a Wild Factor member won. I guess they're just going to win the presidency or something. And it's a push from Andrew Cuomo. Andrew Cuomo has pushed Vladimir Putin to the lead in the race for the presidency. But Jimmy Kimmel is not going to give up easily. He's got a push from Tulsi Gabbard of all people. And look who it is! Kanye West has joined the fold. Kanye West from a push from the coronavirus, trying to make it 3 wide and make it into the top 5. Vladimir Putin is going to lead lap number 4 in the race to the presidency. Oh, the Republicans are collapsing. There are so many Republicans on the outside lane now, but look at all the Democrats in the back. The Democrats aren't able to take advantage, and here he comes! Kanye West to the inside of Tulsi Gabbard for second place. Kanye West trying to win the presidency for Wakanda, but here comes the coronavirus! The coronavirus abandons Kanye West. This is a battle for second as Vladimir Putin is a man on an island all on his own. It sounds like there's a big wreck in the back. Oh, and it's the top two. Trump and Biden involved in a wreck. On lap number 5, the caution is out and Trump is out. Donald Trump is not going to be able to defend his crown unless he's just stuck, and he might, well, his speed is 0, you never know. Also involved in this incident was Jimmy Dore, Ilhan Omar, and Crystal Ball, and Joe Biden involved as well, and we all know how important it is, and yes, the president has teleported to pit road. So this blows this race for the presidency wide open. Trump is already out, potentially. And what's even more is that Joe Biden likely has damage, and we all know that at Daytona, the draft is important, and keeping a perfect car is just as important. So, with 5 laps completed on lap 6 of 40, your current leader in the race for the presidency 2020 is Vladimir Putin, who holds the spot over the coronavirus. Tulsi Gabbard is 3rd, Jill Stein is 4th, Kanye West is 5th, Kyle Kulinski has driven up to 6th, Jimmy Kimmel is 7th, Jack Posobiec is 8th, Alex Jones is 9th, and Andrew Cuomo is back to 10th. But the pit lane is wide open now. These teams are not going to be able to win the presidency on their own. They also need a group of staffers to fix up their cars. Let's see who has the best crew of staffers today, as Vladimir Putin has taken his spot on the pit road and the right side to go up. Further up the track, Kyle Kulinski hits the line. I believe that is the actual start-finish line. So he's right on the money. Andrew Cuomo comes in right in front of Susan Collins, as it looks like the majority of the field has come down pit road on lap number 6. And Trump is still sitting there, so it is starting to look like Trump is oh nope, he's getting service. It doesn't matter because it looks like Trump is going to go a lap down, but he is still in this race. He just needed a toe back. So if there's and I don't think it's going to really matter for Trump anymore because he's going to have to drive around the leader and get his lap back that way. And he's just not going to have the speed that he needs underneath his number 45 to keep up with the field, let alone win this race. So it's a wide open battle for the presidency. The Trump himself, the president, is pretty much out of this race already. A twist early on in the race for the presidency 2020. When we come back, we'll set you up for the restart, and we'll see who has the speed to win the presidency.
In 16 years, it'll be the year 2000. He'll be 19 years old. What happens if every tax dollar that we pay, 50 to 60% of it's just going to pay the interest on the debt? He will be paying for what we lived on. We should be investing to allow him to be able to live on something.
Joe Biden wants an immediate budget freeze, a constitutional amendment to limit spending, and a fair tax bill to guarantee our children's future. Delaware's own Joe Biden.
Heading down the Daytona Super Stretch in the race for the presidency 2020. We're going to go green with 31 laps to go. The only driver a lap down is Donald Trump. Out of this race, we have a couple of influencers and one of the Democrats. I believe that's Nancy Pelosi. That's the 002, but you never know. But out front, Vladimir Putin leads over Mike Cernovich, the coronavirus, Jack Posobiec, Kyle Kulinski, Jimmy Kimmel, Kanye West, Jill Stein, Tulsi Gabbard, and Elizabeth Warren. The pace car is in, and we're going to go back green. Trump is trying to get his lap back right away, but he's going to have damage on his number 45. And a lot of the top 10 just scrambling around trying to figure out what they're doing. Mike Cernovich is coming in behind the president, going to try and give him a push and get his lap back. But the 45 just does not have the speed that it needs to battle Vladimir Putin on the outside. It's Putin and Trump neck and neck down the backstretch, and Trump's going to have to give it up. Cernovich goes to the outside with a push from the coronavirus. And now Jack Posobiec abandons the president and drives underneath him into turn 3. So that leaves Vladimir Putin out in front of Mike Cernovich, Jack Posobiec, and now Jimmy Kimmel moves into the 4th spot as Trump is now holding up the coronavirus. Coronavirus can't get by. Now coronavirus takes a hard left turn to get around the president as there are 3 wide wild factors. Tucker Carlson to the inside of both Joe Jorgensen and Jimmy Kimmel. But the top 3 out front are trying to break away at this point. There's a lot of damaged cars in the field now, and we're going to see who's left to really challenge for this race win. There you see some damaged cars with Elon Omar, Devin Nunes. David Pacman looks to have some damage as well, but everyone else in the field looks like they are in good shape to continue battling for this race win. Now, the breakaway out front, the top 5 have broken away at this point. What a run by Tucker Carlson. In behind Joe Jorgensen, they're going to take it to the Republican right influencers. Cernovich on the outside. Carlson still with speed. Going to maybe try and take it 3 wide with Joe Jorgensen and Jack Posobiec, but meanwhile, it's just Vladimir Putin all out by himself. Putin has led a lot of laps. He's the only driver so far, I believe, that has led more than 1 lap in a row. But now the wild factors are lined up. Here comes Joe Jorgensen, the Libertarians, trying to take it to the Russian president. Vladimir Putin on the outside, but Tucker Carlson is going with Putin. No, he's not. He might take a look to the left, and yes, Carlson underneath Putin, and Jorgensen completes the pass. The Libertarians have the presidency as of lap 13 of the race to the presidency 2020. Not seeing a lot out of the Democrat influencers, but the right influencers, Cernovich, Dave Rubin now joins the fold, and Jack Posobiec have been up front for the majority of this event. Here comes Cory Booker, though. Now the question is, since Joe Biden and Donald Trump have had issues today, what happens if a former candidate for the position wins this race? Do they just win it for their preferred candidate, or do they win it for themselves? I guess we're going to have to wait and find out, because here comes Eric Swalwell with Jill Stein in tow. Susan Collins up here as well. We're starting to get a very interesting mix of teams and sides up front. But Joe Jorgensen has a great push from Tucker Carlson. Jorgensen and Carlson working very well together so far in the early running of this race. We are approaching halfway, and in all likelihood, we will see some green flag pit stops in this run. Here comes Cory Booker with a push from Jill Stein, going to try and get underneath the influencers. That's a lot of influencers they're driving around. Jill Stein with a great push to the rear end of Cory Booker. But here comes Vladimir Putin back on him again. They tried to count him out, but he ain't out yet. Vladimir Putin underneath Tucker Carlson for second, with Joe Jorgensen in the lead. Here comes Jill Stein, being pushed by Susan Collins. It's some woman power, girl power, trying to push up to the front. Oh, but Susan Collins abandons the green candidate. Collins now to the inside. Cory Booker still up here. Lindsey Graham has joined the fold. We haven't seen anything out of Lindsey Graham yet today. As here comes Nancy Pelosi, alongside Andrew Cuomo, also coming up through the field. Tom Cotton, Matt Gaetz, Rand Paul, and Tulsi Gabbard. There's a breakaway between the field, though. All the way back to position 18 is the current Vice President, Mike Pence. who's being pushed by Amy Klobuchar and Elizabeth Warren right now. Thomas Massie is being split by Cassandra Fairbanks and Ted Cruz, while Mitch McConnell moves in. McConnell, an early leader, and he's all the way back here. As there he is, the candidate himself, Joe Biden, all the way back in 26th position. As we continue falling through the field, there are a lot of slow cars on this track. Oh, man. Devin Nunes is 5 seconds off pace. Jimmy Dore has had issues. And the field is already coming up and probably going to see some lap traffic here sooner rather than later, as Susan Collins is challenging the Vladimir Putin car, but it's 3 wide, a 3 wide move for the lead. Mike Cernovich is pushing Eric Swalwell to the lead here. Almost halfway in the race to the presidency 2020, and Michael Cernovich has just pushed Eric Swalwell to the lead this race. And now Cernovich is being abandoned by a big train. Is this the blue wave of Democrats on the inside? Who is that? Nancy Pelosi is pushing Andrew Cuomo to second. All the while, Eric Swalwell is driving off with the lead. That lap traffic is looming in the distance, though. 3 Democrats lined up on the inside, but some Republicans and right influencers are also up here as well. Here comes Lindsey Graham. Is he going to confirm a Supreme Justice nominee, or is he not? You never know. But here comes Jimmy Dore. We'll see what Jimmy Dore does with this field as he is lap traffic and he is holding up the Democrats. Oh, everyone's getting slowed down. Oh, there's some big time contact. The influencers get into the Republicans and around goes, I believe that's Nancy Pelosi that's just wrecked. Jimmy Dore has caused a big moment in the race to the presidency. It's still Eric Swalwell out front with Andrew Cuomo coming in second. Mike Cernovich is still up here, but we'll see what kind of damage he has as Putin takes 4th. Lindsey Graham survives and hangs on to 5th. Jack Posobiec, Joe Jorgensen, Cory Booker, Dave Rubin, and Tucker Carlson, the top 10 after this most recent incident. Oh, they're still wrecking! Trump has big damage! Jill Stein goes around! David Pacman just slams the wall for no reason! Mike Pence is back here. Cenk Uygur with damage. Kyle Kulinski in the back as well. There's Nancy Pelosi, who wrecked to bring out this caution all the way in the back. Everyone probably just kept piling in. That's just what happens in politics these days, is that there's just a dog pile and you all get into it. Charlie Kirk appears to be out of this race. I believe the president is also finally out of this race. He is officially done. Trump is officially out of this event, and everyone is going to head down pit road one more time. Led by Eric Swalwell. Oh, someone's staying on the track. Someone's staying on the track. It's Thomas Massie. He's on the same lap as the leaders. Representative Massie is staying on the track with a 10,000 IQ play. He is the only one who didn't pit. Everyone else on pit road as we hit lap 20. Everyone else is pitting though, and it looks like some of these drivers are only taking 2 tires. Some of them only taking left, some of them disappearing. Chaos and confusion on pit exit. Out in second behind Thomas Massie is Andrew Cuomo. And it looks like Tucker Carlson is taking 3rd. Cory Booker, Tulsi Gabbard, Matt Gaetz, Mike Cernovich, Elizabeth Warren, Rand Paul, Kanye West, and Jack Posobiec. And that is your race off of pit road. Well, now the question is, at this point, who is damaged and who is not? That's going to make the whole difference here as we're about to hit halfway in the race to the presidency 2020. When we come back, we'll hopefully bring it to you for the remainder of this race and get this show over with and crown a president.
You really think this is the right thing for us to be doing, Ivana?
What will people think?
Let them talk.
Donald.
Ivana. It's wrong, isn't it?
But it feels so right.
Then it's a deal?
Yes, we eat our pizza the wrong way.
Crust first.
Introducing stuffed crust pizza from Pizza Hut. With a ring of cheese baked into a totally new, thinner crust, you'll want to eat it the wrong way. Crust first.
May I have the last slice?
Actually, you're only entitled to half.
Large, just $9.99.
Welcome back to the race to the presidency 2020. When we headed to commercials, a caution had come out and Thomas Massie had stayed on track, the only man to stay on track and not take fuel late in the running of this event. We are past halfway. When we go green, it should be 18 laps to go. As is Thomas Massie out in front of Andrew Cuomo, Tucker Carlson, Cory Booker, Tulsi Gabbard, Matt Gaetz, Mike Cernovich, Elizabeth Warren, Rand Paul, and Kanye West rounds out the top 10. And look at this field of cars. There are so few cars left on track. We started this race with 40 vehicles and only 27 remain with any semblance of speed. Let's see who gets a good restart, and it's not Thomas Massie. Thomas Massie is holding up the Democrats. On the outside, Tucker Carlson goes to the lead. And Jimmy Dore gets a lap back, but it doesn't mean much as he is 2 laps down. 1 lap down now as it stands. Thomas Massie still holding up the whole field. Tucker Carlson by himself driving off in the field. It's Cory Booker on the outside with a push from Tulsi Gabbard. Tulsi Gabbard abandons Booker with a push from Mike Cernovich. Cernovich goes with Gabbard. Rand Paul abandoned by Joe Jorgensen. And here comes Cernovich. Mike Cernovich to the inside of Tulsi Gabbard. This is a battle for second taking place behind Tucker Carlson. And don't count out the coronavirus. It could kill us all yet, because there's still speed underneath the hood of that Dodge. To complete that lap, and we're finally back up to speed as everyone tries to dodge the rolling chicane of Jimmy Dore. Don't forget that Jimmy Dore was what brought out this most recent caution, and the chaos factor is still here. Look at all of these blank white cars of the chaos factor. Tucker Carlson leads with Mike Cernovich in tow. Cernovich appears to be closing. I don't think Cernovich is going to play it safe with that Tucker Carlson machine. I believe that Cernovich is going to try and win this and raise his stock that he could potentially become a Supreme Court justice. I mean, crazier things have happened, right? Tulsi Gabbard following in 3rd, Joe Jorgensen following in 4th, and the coronavirus has driven to 5th. But Lindsey Graham is still in this. A staunch Trump supporter, a staunch Trump ally, Lindsey Graham is trying to come in and save the presidency from the influencers and the libertarians. Tulsi Gabbard with a look to the inside of Mike Cernovich, but is it enough? This is just how important the draft is. Tulsi Gabbard got out of the draft and suddenly lost a bunch of time to Mike Cernovich, who hangs on to 2nd. Coronavirus pushing into 4th. Coronavirus has gotten around Joe Jorgensen, and here comes Lindsey Graham trying to take that spot away from Jorgensen now. But Cory Booker is still in this. He is the highest running Democrat, and there are some Democrats near the back too, such as prospective vice president, and most likely will actually be the president in disguise if Biden actually somehow won. Kamala Harris is closing in on this battle for the lead. Tulsi Gabbard has finally supplanted Mike Cernovich from the 2nd position, and coronavirus is trying to follow into 3rd. All of this happening behind Tucker Carlson. And you have to question what it would be that Tucker Carlson would do with the presidency. I think he would be a hilarious 2024 candidate, and I actually unironically want him to run for that. Could this be the ticket in 2024? Tucker Carlson and Tulsi Gabbard, along with the coronavirus, just to, be there. And now the coronavirus makes a move for 2nd. Coronavirus desperately wants to destroy us all. COVID-19 moves into second. Now closing in, Klobuchar, Lindsey Graham. This is the group out front. 7 cars battling it out for the lead. Joe Jorgensen gets back around Tulsi Gabbard for the 3rd spot, and here comes Mike Cernovich trying to take over 4th. But Tucker Carlson with a ton of speed out front. He's going to see 13 laps to go this time by. Raising not only his stock, but Fox's stock. Here is the battle going on near the back, though. Ted Cruz has driven up to the lead of this group with Jack Posobiec in tow, supplanting Kamala Harris to get her out of the way. Matt Gaetz is here as well. But Elizabeth Warren with a ton of speed making some moves here. Also in this group is Kanye West. We go all the way back here as there are still a lot of slow cars on this track and still plenty of time for another group of lap cars to have an influence on the outcome of this event. It's Thomas Massey, I believe, is either off pace or just came off of pit road. One or the other there. Tucker Carlson leading another lap. And this is the group. 7 cars out near the front. Mike Cernovich makes a move on the coronavirus. And that's a great move. It's going to push him straight into second. So Cernovich moves into second. Tulsi Gabbard trying to follow through, but couldn't quite get there. There is Thomas Massey. He is pretty far ahead of this group, but in all likelihood we will see his influence as a lap car probably in about 3 laps. Still a lot of time in this race, and the coronavirus made a hard left turn. I thought the coronavirus may have been taking a trip down pit lane there, but no, hangs on and just look to the inside of Cernovich for the 2nd spot, but it's not going to be enough. As here comes on the outside Tulsi Gabbard with a great tow on the rear end of Cernovich, and there's Massey. Alright, so I said 3 laps, more like 1. Thomas Massey, what's he going to do? They're going to catch him in a really bad spot unless Tucker Carlson makes a move to the inside right here and now. Carlson is going to get around the slow Thomas Massey car, and that's going to slingshot the coronavirus straight into second. Lindsey Graham moves into third as the outside is being checked up. Thomas Massey is holding up Mike Cernovich and Tulsi Gabbard, but Klobuchar is still in this. It's not all over yet for the Democrats. Klobuchar is still up here. And this second group of cars has a few Democrats in it. But now, 10 laps to go, and the breakaway is Tucker Carlson and the coronavirus. As we have some slower cars up front, we have Kyle Kalinske and Devin Nunes. And we'll probably see them sooner rather than later. Tucker Carlson just trying to hang on and win the race to the presidency 2020. Not 100% sure what he'd actually do with that. Can be 100% honest. Now he sees 9 laps to go. There's still a lot of racing remaining. And there's still plenty of time for more chaos and confusion. As this group right here, 2 cars, Kalinske has not made a move, so in all likelihood they will not catch them side by side, but they are 6 seconds off pace, and there they are down the backstretch. Yep, you can almost see them in this viewfinder. They're probably going to catch them on the backstretch next time by. It's Tucker Carlson trying to fend off the coronavirus. Tucker Carlson is trying to save the country from the coronavirus as we speak. Oh, and Lindsey Graham is coming down pit road. Oh, that means that there is 1 more stop remaining in the field. No one could possibly make it another 7 laps on fuel. So that means the staffers need to be perfect 1 more time. So Lindsey Graham, the first driver to come down pit road, the first candidate to come down and gets their final service of the day. And a big advantage for Tucker Carlson and the coronavirus right now, but that can go away on pit road, and there they are. The slow traffic. Carlson's going to look to the outside, but can't get around him. The coronavirus is going to have a great run onto the rear end of the Tucker Carlson car. No one else pits this time by. Lindsey Graham pit with the rest of the field. No one else is coming down, though. Maybe an issue for Lindsey Graham. He's coming back onto the track right now, but he doesn't have a drafting partner. Otherwise, he might be in the best shape out of anyone on the track. If a caution were to come out right now, and Lindsey Graham stayed on the lead lap, in all likelihood, he would stay out and keep the lead for a late race restart. Oh, speaking of late race restarts, there was just a car sitting backwards on the track, but there's still no caution. Believe that looks like it's Mitch McConnell was involved in something. Mitch McConnell with issues. Tucker Carlson is doing everything that he can to save this country from the coronavirus. And he's still got 6 laps to hold him off. Another incident happening in the back. Is that Cernovich that just went around? And there is the caution flag. Cernovich goes around. The caution is out. Oh, man. That might mean that there's going to be a 1-lap restart. 1-lap dash to the finish. They're going to hit the line with 36, 37, 38. Probably going to go green on lap 38. But we'll see. And now that really leads to the question of who's going to be able to make it on fuel. Is there going to be people that are going to try and stretch it for the final 1-lap dash? Because I think we will get at least a 1-lap dash. Lindsey Graham will stay on the lead lap. He might just be in the best position out of everyone. Mike Cernovich goes around to bring out the caution one more time. Still contact coming out of the tri-oval. And there he is, Cernovich. He got turned from about second. And there's Lindsey Graham trying to get back around the track. Oh, man. Now the question is, how many laps to go will there be when this goes back green? Because they've taken the caution with 5 to go. It's Tucker Carlson trying to save America from the coronavirus. Elizabeth Warren has suddenly appeared in 3rd place. Cory Booker 4th. Kanye West is still in this in 5th. Matt Gaetz, Jack Posobiec, Tulsi Gabbard, Kamala Harris, and not Devin Nunes, Ted Cruz make up the top 10, and it looks like everyone is signaling that they are going to pit. But what about Lindsey Graham? Will he pit? If he does, he's stupid. No, it's a split pit decision. A split pit decision. Oh, it's going to be a fuel mileage race to the finish. There is every chance in the world that anyone that stays out could just run out of fuel on the final lap. Matt Gaetz is going to play it safe, as well as Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris, with the vice presidency in hand, if the Democrats win, she is going to play it safe and try to be there at the very finish. Here comes Lindsey Graham. He's going to stay out, obviously. So out of the drivers that stayed out, it's Tucker Carlson, coronavirus, Elizabeth Warren, Cory Booker, Kanye West, Jack Posobiec, Tulsi Gabbard, Ted Cruz, Joe Jorgensen, Dave Rubin, Jimmy Kimmel, Rand Paul, Amy Klobuchar, and that looks like it's potentially everyone. Andrew Cuomo catches up, Lindsey Graham catches up, and then Matt Gaetz, the first one off pit road. Oh, the nerves. The nerves are here. When we come back, we'll send them off one last time, and we will find out who the winner of the Race to the Presidency 2020 will be. Who's it going to be? I have no idea. It's anyone's race with just a few laps to go.
Bring on the cream team! Rich, creamy tasting marshmallow bits for a richer, creamier chocolatey taste. Extreme Cream Oreo O's, part of this good breakfast. Give it up for the cream team!
And welcome back to the Race to the Presidency 2020. During this caution, we have had a couple of drivers come back down pit road. Or drivers that didn't pit, pitting later on. But Tucker Carlson has the lead with just 1 lap to go when we go back green. He's got the spot over Ted Cruz, an ally potentially. But up here as well is Andrew Cuomo, who wants to win the presidency for the Democrats. Lindsey Graham, who we know is good on fuel, is probably the highest running driver that is good on fuel. And then Matt Gaetz, who just pit. He was the first of the drivers to pit, and as you see, we had a couple more drivers come down pit road. The question is, has Tucker Carlson saved enough fuel to try and save America? But it's still anyone's presidency. A good mix of red, white, and blue up near the front. There will be 1 lap to go in the Race to the Presidency 2020. Here comes Tucker Carlson. He's going to bring us off, but early move out of Ted Cruz on the outside. They won't even be up to speed when this race comes to an end. The question is, who has the most speed on this restart? Andrew Cuomo moving into the 3rd spot with a push from Matt Gaetz, of all people, as Kamala Harris, potential future vice president. On the outside, Cenk Uygur, who we haven't talked about all race, has moved up into the top 5. And now the move. Matt Gaetz pushing Andrew Cuomo to the inside of Ted Cruz for 2nd. Or was it a 3,000 IQ play? Matt Gaetz makes it 3 wide for 2nd. Tucker Carlson is still out front, though, and he's still got his full head of steam coming. They're side by side for the 2nd spot. Matt Gaetz underneath of Tucker Carlson, and then Tucker Carlson's going to go down pit road at the very end. They're going to be side by side for the win of the presidency, and at the line, it's Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz just beats Andrew Cuomo in the Race to the Presidency Tour 2020. The Republicans have done it. The Republicans have done it. And Cenk Uygur was up there trying to make some moves. Kamala Harris just watched her potential presidency vanish from the 4th spot. David Pakman was also up here. Mike Cernovich recovered after bringing out the most recent caution to 6th. And Kanye West comes in with a respectable 7th. Eric Swalwell comes home in 8th. 9th goes to Elizabeth Warren. And Lindsey Graham finishes it off in 10th. But it doesn't matter, as Matt Gaetz, the gas man himself, the gas mask man himself, has won the presidency for the Republicans. And I think in all likelihood he would abdicate and he would give the keys to the White House back to the Trump-meister himself. So there you have it. NR2003 has predicted a Republican victory in the 2020 presidential election. But it's close. There is a lot of lefties up in this top 10. Coronavirus comes home in 13th after being dominant all race long, all year long. A very relevant run by the coronavirus. But as you see here, finishing last was Crystal Ball. Trump finished 37th, but he will retain the White House. And in a wild 2020 election season, the wind goes to the right, and the Republicans will retain their throne. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for the first ever Race to the Presidency. I will probably do more of these, but, you know, you can only do them once every 4 years. So I was going to do this in 2016, but didn't, obviously. So in any case, thanks for watching. This has been Kamikaze Games. And your winner in the Race to the Presidency 2020 is Matt Gaetz, of all people. In any case, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye! So you can just be like, like a fucking banshee. The video just ends immediately. It knows. It knows. Oh, God. Oh, it's so bad. Why? Why would I do this? Why would I allow this to exist? What have I done? No. What have I done?